triumphant of the collective. There comes a moment in history when time itself seems to pause, a moment when the struggle that once surrounded us begins to dissolve, and clarity emerges where confusion once lived. For many seasons, we walked through turbulence. For many months and years, we endured interference, deception, manipulation, and attempts to derail the very path that was written for us before we were ever born. Forces moved in shadow. Individuals attempted to twist truth, to steal what was not theirs, to manipulate destiny itself. But today, we stand in a new hour. Not yesterday, not sometime in the distant future, now. The collective is no longer attached to the karmic weight of hexes, curses, manipulations, or spiritual sabotage that once placed upon us. Those chains are broken. The residue of those attacks have dissolved. What once tried to bind us has now returned to the order of divine balance. We are free. And freedom is not merely the absence of oppression. Freedom is the restoration of rightful alignment. Now we enter the next phase of this journey, a phase where the scales of balance have begun to correct themselves. Those who moved in darkness, those who attempted to steal destinies, steal inheritances, sabotage lives, and manipulate truth, now face the law of consequence, not by our hands, but by the universal law that governs all things. Karma is not vengeance. Karma is correction. It is the universe restoring harmony where imbalance was created. And in the time ahead, many will feel the weight of that correction. Some will face consequences so intense that their foundations will shake. Others will be pushed into transformation and forced to confront the truth of what they have done. Some will be humbled in ways that forever alter the course of their lives. Because what was done in shadow can no longer hide from the light. And understand this clearly, brethren. The light is now the authority. But this moment is not about celebrating the fall of others. That is not the purpose of the collective. This moment is about recognizing the victory of truth. For a long time, it seemed as though the deception had the advantage. It seemed as though lies could outrun the truth. It seemed as though manipulation could overpower destiny. But time has revealed what the divine already knew. The energy has shifted. The authority has shifted. The victory has shifted. What was meant to destroy us has refined us. What was meant to silence us has strengthened us. What was meant to divide us has united us. And now, in this hour of clarity, we move forward. Forward into purpose. Forward into destiny. Forward into the fulfillment of the mission that was written long before we took our first breath. We are anointed by the Most High God. That anointing is not declaration. It is not ego. It is a sacred responsibility. It requires discipline. It requires wisdom. It requires courage and unwavering alignment with truth. Because protection does not come from pride. Protection comes from alignment. As long as we remain aligned with divine order, nothing placed against us will stand. Not deception, not manipulation, not spiritual interference, not even fear. And now the time has come for the collective to rise into its next phase. As one who stands in leadership among the chosen worldwide, I call upon every chosen one, listen to these words. Rise. Rise in unity. Rise in clarity. Rise in courage. Stand together and continue the work entrusted to us. Continue the effort of healing, awakening and restoring balance to a world that has wandered too long in confusion. Do it without fear. Do it without hesitation. Do it without concern for whatever darkness may attempt to whisper in opposition. Because darkness survives only where light refuses to shine. And the light within this collective has grown too prideful to hide. The time of interference is ending. The time of revelation has begun. And the mission continues. So stand firm, brethren. Stand in your purpose. Stand in your alignment. Stand in the authority granted to us by the Most High God. For too long, the shadows believed they could manipulate destiny. For too long, deception believed it could outrun truth. For too long, those who walked in darkness believed they could steal what heaven has already written. But time has revealed what was always destined to happen. The chains have broken. The illusions have collapsed. The balance of the universe has corrected itself. And now the collective stands free. Free in spirit, free in purpose, free in a divine mission placed before us. So let those who oppose the light witness what comes next. Let them watch as destiny unfolds exactly as it was written. Because the moment they feared the most has finally arrived. The moment when the chosen rise together. The moment when truth stands unchallenged. The moment when the lights no longer ask for permission to shine. And from this day forward, let it be known across every land, every nation, and every generation to come. The era of interference is over. The era of the chosen has begun. And nothing, no force, no deception, not even darkness, will ever stop what has now been set into motion. Ashe.
TNTI Global Media, voice of the collective, light of the world.
The enigmatic Dominion Society exists beyond spectacle and rumor, moving through the world like a shadow cast by something ancient and deliberate. It is not announced, advertised, or explained to the uninitiated. Its presence is felt instead in the quiet alignment of forces, in the sudden stillness before decisive change, in the sense that unseen hands are restoring balance where excess once ruled. The Dominion was formed to stand at the threshold between collapse and renewal, bearing the memory of humanity's darker impulses, not to glorify them, but to master them, transmute them, and return what was taken back into order. Within its inner chambers, knowledge is treated as a living entity, dangerous if mishandled, sacred if disciplined. The Society studies the architectures of karma, power, and consequence with ruthless honesty. Nothing is romanticized. Every shadow is examined, every error traced to its origin, every imbalance recorded. Members are trained to confront distortion without flinching, learning that darkness loses its dominion the moment it is understood and contained. The enigmatic dominion does not erase the past. It binds it, disciplines it, and forces it to serve restoration rather than chaos. Authority within the Society is absolute yet restrained, structured so that no single will may act without reflection. Oversight is constant, layered, and unyielding, ensuring that ambition never outruns alignment. Advancement is slow, earned through endurance rather than brilliance, through correction rather than charisma. Those who rise do so visibly changed, stripped of illusion, emptied of indulgence, and reoriented toward responsibility. Power here is not seized, it is survived. Ritual and discipline are woven into daily existence, not as performance but as calibration. Silence is as important as speech. Observation outweighs action. Every movement, every symbol, every uniform carries meaning rooted in containment and clarity. The Dominion's visual language is austere, its spaces monumental yet unadorned, designed to remind all who enter that they are smaller than the forces they steward. Even reverence is regulated, for devotion without discipline is merely another form of excess. Ultimately, the enigmatic Dominion Society stands as a corrective force, neither merciful nor cruel, but exacting. It exists to ensure that what once harmed cannot do so again, that debts are acknowledged, that restoration follows accountability, and that light is not naive, but earned. To encounter the Dominion is to realize that redemption is not granted freely, nor denied arbitrarily. It is forged, step by deliberate step, under watchful eyes that do not blink, in service of balance that must endure long after names, faces, and legends fade. TNT Initiative, our race's universal hope, and the divinely appointed authority guiding the creation of the new Earth.